Access Fort Wayne offers reflections of our community. Production facilities provided by Access Fort Wayne are a service of the Allen County Public Library. The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting organizations. For more information about creating your own television program with Access Fort Wayne, call 421-1250.
Hello and welcome to our show, The American Veteran. I'm Dale Parrish, your host, Marilyn Renbarger's co-host, and our guest today is Leslie Haines. And special guest is Corporal Holly, a service dog that Leslie brought in. Welcome to the show, Leslie.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Dale. It's a pleasure to be here, and at my feet, as you can see, is Corporal Holly. And Corporal Holly is actually a therapy dog that belongs to my administrative assistant. And Corporal Holly comes to work every day. One of the functions of Corporal Holly is to come in on counseling sessions and be present. Most service animals, when you see that vest, you should always ask the person with the dog or animal if you can pet them. If they say no, it's because they're working. In this case with Holly, we encourage social interaction. Yesterday, I think we had, it felt like 200 at least kids at suburban Bethlehem Lutheran, and who all petted Holly. So Holly goes with us everywhere we go. She's even gone into Granite City with us, and she is a certified emotional therapy dog.
And she's beautiful.
You say she always joins you in when you talk to a veteran.
She'll come in on the sessions. Now, if a veteran feels uncomfortable with an animal, certainly she wouldn't be required to be there, and we allow her free access. We have to respect her needs as well.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Yeah, I said I'm going to take her home, but I was told I wouldn't.
No.
Where do we go from here then, Leslie?
Well, in the last segment, Marilyn had asked about our funding, and I brought up the Christmas tree ornament adoption appeal. For every donation we receive, and they can be made online at our website, an ornament is made by a veteran, their family member, or a military contractor. You can make it for yourself, or you can have the ornament named, such as these, for someone you want to honor. The ornaments are not going to go to the person that makes the donation, or else we'd be making ornaments all year long. But also because if we receive $1 for a donation, they're going to get an ornament. This is an ornament that was made for this Gethsemane Lutheran, and it's from their donation this year.
Here, let me hold it up for this camera.
Okay.
Here.
And we try to, now these ornaments have been adopted, and you don't know specifically which ornament you're going to get. If it's a veteran that we know something about and you give us a little heads up, we will do our best to have it a veteran-related ornament. As you can imagine, with so many people, wide theme and variation of ornaments.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's an interesting one, isn't it?
And you can see there where it honors a lady's two fathers. We also, when businesses donate, like Granite City, who've been a big supporter of ours, we also made an ornament for them. They do quite a lot for our ministry and support each year. So we're very grateful to them. So this is a hand-carved wooden Granite City
It's a
logo.
very patriotic one.
This one was made 2 weeks ago, and it's an ornament that was in honor of Larry Yarrington. I think it's very important that, particularly with our ornaments, that when we have veterans or their family members, that we acknowledge that service.
Yeah.
And you have a tree in your office where
Yes.
these are displayed.
Yes, St. Joe Christmas Tree Farm provided us with a large Fraser fir this year. So we're very grateful to them as well.
Yeah. And you have that in your office,
It's in the waiting area of our office,
Okay.
and if my goal this year is to have 450 ornaments on that tree, which means we have a lot more to make. Some of these are from years past, but a lot of these are also new ones. We've placed so far this year, I believe it was 76 ornaments since November.
Oh my good. Now you make all these yourself?
Veterans, family members, and their
I see.
or a military contractor.
Mm-hmm.
So we provide them with the supplies. We have donated wood that comes in. Nothing on that tree is made in China. And I think it's important to say that because we try to buy American anytime we can.
yeah,
So
it's kind of hard to do.
It's nice to see something
It's
that's
hard to do.
made in America. Yeah, for a change.
right.
Yeah. Now someone will make a donation,
Mhm.
and they'll want an ornament made for a specific person.
Well, actually, they'll want one that honors that person, and so we don't do custom ornaments. Like I said, we have a wide variety of people that are doing ornaments, but we have ornaments that are made and are being made that we will pick one out for them, place it on the tree, and then by the end of the week, they'll be able to see their ornament on our tree. We'll take a photo of it, and they'll be able to see the name fob and their ornament. So they can tell their friends on Facebook, or have them look at the website that their ornament is up there.
It's a great way to help your service continue with your
Yes, sure
expenses
is. Yeah.
and helping people who need the help.
Absolutely.
There's a remarkable service that you offer.
Well, this helps us keep our doors open and keep our services free, as we've done for the past 7 years.
Well, you're to be commended. It is a necessary thing to provide, and I don't know who else has ever done this. Is this new in Fort Wayne, or?
I think this ministry was created because this wasn't being done. You know, when you look at the way we minister, who we minister to, without exclusion, anyone that served in the military, their family member, or a military contractor, regardless of their discharge status, faith beliefs, we serve them. Never turn anybody away, and we won't. And our fundraising efforts are done creatively. We look for ways to make the monies come in or have them come
Well,
in.
this was a great idea. Yeah.
But our services, because they weren't being provided to our veterans, and of course the VA can't provide all services. Our VA does quite a tremendous job throughout the country. There are certainly flaws, but there are flaws with every group, and if we're honest about those and correct them, that's fine. But they can't offer religious or spiritual care.
During your tree is up during the holidays.
Our tree is up all the way through the end of January.
I see. Yeah, that's great. And
we're a 501c3 faith-based ministry, and all gifts are and donations. And donations don't have to be monetary. We always need stamps. We always need envelopes, business envelopes, and the smaller ones. There are a wide range of ways that people can assist our ministry in meeting our budgetary needs.
And I suppose you could always use more volunteers?
Absolutely. We try to have our volunteers come in on Tuesday because Jody is their supervisor and kind of supervises the activities, and if we had them coming in just any day, it would be probably a little bit more disruptive. So we try to have them come in on Tuesdays, and one of the pluses to that is we also provide our volunteers with lunch.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's-
what do you have them doing when they?
They may be
volunteer?
putting labels on envelopes. We have a very large mailing list.
Okay.
They may be stuffing envelopes. They may be, all of our volunteers so far have been veterans or their family members, so we've had them making ornaments. And
Yeah.
the first complaint was, well, I'm not artistic. Well, you don't have to be particularly artistic. You just think of your kid's first picture that you put on the refrigerator. These ornaments are made out of love. And out of love for what we're doing. So they do a wide variety of things. One very faithful couple, Wayne and Mabel Linder, come in every Tuesday without fail. And they do everything that we need, but also concentrate on, also do some things like cleaning that we don't have a cleaning service that really helps out a lot.
Sure.
So if you're sitting at home and you got some extra time, there's a valuable, wonderful service that Leslie's offering. So give her a call.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, since I've been on this show, I've run into more organizations like yours that helps veterans.
yes, absolutely.
They're out there,
Right.
you know. Had a couple of them on the show.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Get back to the Holly
Yes.
as a service dog. You say the VA don't recognize PTSD as a need for a dog.
They don't consider that a condition that there's enough evidence to support that service dog or animal is going to be beneficial for their long time health and getting better.
Yeah.
We know that that's pretty much more of an economically driven ruling, and that Congress did have to force them in 2010 to start doing the research on this, which they paused, but they've had to redo. It's also interesting to note that not everybody that has PTSD certainly needs a therapy dog or animal, but therapy animals aren't limited to dogs. A lot of introverted people I know prefer cats. And when you look at the qualities of a cat, what you consider normal for cats, the independence, the aloofness, their own problem solving, a lot of introverts have those qualities. Whereas a lot of extroverts are a bit more gregarious, they socialize better, and so a lot of them tend to be dog people. So we haven't placed any cats, but I can tell you I have 2 cats, Sarge and Callista, who are very therapeutic.
I have one. He's good therapy for me.
Yes.
The big Maine Coon.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You know, we have a member that has a PTSD pretty bad, and he's got his own service dog. I don't know how he come up with her, but as soon as he starts having the effects, I don't know what they are, but that dog's right there by him,
Absolutely.
comforting.
Yes.
well, they make wonderful companions, and
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
It's unconditional love in 4 legs.
absolutely.
Now, one of the interesting things they can be trained to do, and they do go through training, I hate going into large stores. It's just, you've got wide open spaces, you've got any number of factors, and for many veterans, they don't like, say they're in Walmart where they are trying to get out, they're trying to pay, they've got somebody with their buggy with a crying child just in front of them, then somebody pulls up behind them with their buggy and they're sandwiched in. They don't have anybody covering their 6, and when I say 6, the direction directly in front of you, if you looked at a clock, it would be the 12 o'clock position, and directly to my rear is what we call the 6 o'clock position. By not being able to see, we don't have eyes in the back of our eyes and heads, what's behind us necessarily. Service dogs can be trained to turn around, go behind you, turn around and face that 6 o'clock position. And that provides a barrier between someone else and you, particularly when you're standing in line. We as a society have gotten away from respecting people's boundaries.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with our lack of understanding due to social media, we're more comfortable texting and doing everything but meeting people face to face. Regardless, these animals can provide that security or that sense of security, such as the veteran feels more secure when they have got their trusted service animal facing that opposite way.
If they lose that dog, I bet it's a real
Oh, it's a heartbreaker, I
It's
bet.
emotional,
Just,
Right.
emotional
My.
loss.
goodness.
Yeah.
How old is Holly?
Holly just turned 6. Yeah, she's just a pup.
And what kind of a dog is she?
She's a British cream retriever.
Oh, my goodness.
And she snores during sermons. Any place, when we take her to a church, she can often be heard snoring.
Mm-hmm.
But she, all dogs aren't necessarily personality-wise designed to be therapy dogs. Not all dogs can be therapy dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to look at that, particularly if someone brings a dog in that they want it trained. It just may not, they may be great companions, but it may not be a dog that can be trained or should be out with among the general public.
Is the training provided right here in the area?
Yes.
Do you have people going to the VA and to you?
Yes,
Good.
absolutely. I've had many of my clients come as being referred from their providers at the VA.
Oh,
Received a call from a chaplain at the VA who asked if we would be willing to host a Bible study at our offices. And I was somewhat taken aback, and every VA is different in their understanding of separation of church and state. Our VA does have a chapel, but actually he wasn't allowed to conduct Bible studies there due to the misunderstanding of what the VA can do. And it's kind of ironic that you can't have a Bible study in a chapel,
yeah.
while other VAs you can.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can here in Fort Wayne, or you cannot.
As of yet, you can't.
It is remarkable what you're doing, and there's so many people out there that need your help, and I'm just very pleased to know that the help is there, and thanks to you and your staff.
Well, it's really thanks to the care that I received, and knowing that care is why I'm here today, makes it or made it just a necessity to do this. You know, that continuum of care can't end with what you've received. We need to share that as best we can and make sure that other people have access to the care that they need.
Yeah.
How long has this service been provided?
The ministry was planted 7 years ago.
You started it, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. You need to be commended.
Absolutely.
God needs to be commended because he's shown, if anything else, that he can take the least of his children and do something productive with them.
Yeah.
So it's through God's grace that this ministry is here. It's not by my doing or our volunteers or any of my assistant. The grace of God has kept this ministry going.
Yeah. A while ago, you mentioned there's other services that you provide to the vets.
To the vets and their family members and contractors, if they need assistance fighting a claim, we have helped in that area. If they need assistance with housing, we have places that we can refer them. If they need food, we have places we can refer them. If they need counseling care that goes beyond the pastoral PTSD care that we provide, then I have counselors I will refer them to in that area. That we don't just do cold referrals. We have worked with these counselors before. We know them. They've attended our training sessions, which is another thing that we provide. Yeah. And I want to mention that we also have clients. I have counselees that cover the United States. A lot of the work I do throughout the year is by phone. And so we'll have regular counseling sessions.
Another question that just flew away. Oh, you have some homeless coming in there. Homeless veterans.
We haven't had any homeless recently, but the VA opened up a place called Liberty Landing, which if the person qualifies under the VA standards of being a veteran, they may be qualified to go there. Unfortunately, we talk about female veterans, there are very few places that take families. And so you have a lot of women that are single, that have children, that are veterans, that are homeless.
Oh, yeah.
And so where do you send them?
Mm-hmm.
And it is a tremendous challenge.
Yeah. Is that the one on Fairfield that you mentioned?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. No, they take females, won't they?
Well, Liberty Landing will.
Yeah.
They have, Liberty Landing provides, has housing for 4 female veterans out of the total amount of veterans they take. And the male veterans, after they have lived in kind of a barracks situation where they don't have a private room, can graduate to a single room, whereas the female veterans just have the 4-person room.
Okay.
So even there's some disparity.
Yeah. You probably talk with the county service officer quite often, then.
We've worked a lot with our VA patient advocates, but the service officers, it's sometimes hard for them to get back with us.
Oh.
So we've got some great service officers, but there's not a whole lot. Now they will call from not just the Fort Wayne area, they'll call from other areas requesting information or some assistance.
Oh. Do you know of any other organizations like yours in the area or other states? Or
With what we do, with what our mission focus is, I don't know of any other group or organization, religious or secular, that's providing the range of services to the range of clients that we have.
Yeah.
Like I said, we don't discriminate, and we have never turned a veteran away. We have encountered people that have been imposters, that were not veterans, but those are pretty easy to discern.
Yeah.
We talk a certain language. I don't care how long you're in. We talk in acronyms. You just know certain things, and when a man tells you that he's a E7 staff sergeant in the Marines, we all know that Marines love that word gunny. We know at Houston we've got a problem.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
fortunately, that's not too big of an issue here.
Yeah. When you was in Guantanamo, I'm going to ask you questions not about yourself. Was you in charge of the prisoners?
Captains aren't. I was a captain then. Captains aren't in charge of much. Captains, particularly at certain installations that have are top heavy with rank, captains were almost just kind of like privates.
Oh.
I was in charge of some things, but
Yeah. Okay. Well,
one of the other things that our mission entails is providing training, and that's training to pastors, churches, local groups, social workers, therapists, counselors, intense training that provides them with insights that they wouldn't have if they didn't have this training. Insights about veterans care and some of the unique needs and challenges. And during the last weekend in March, we have a large training session at Catchment Auditorium that we will have the registration form up. It's low cost, and we do charge for that, but our purpose isn't to make money there. It's an all-day seminar, and we're there to cover our costs, such as we provide a meal as well.
Sure.
And we bring in, it's not just me training, we have other trainers that are part of our training team, including my battle buddy, who was a Vietnam veteran that I served with in Iraq, and we were both medevaced out within a week each other. We're close friends, we're tight, and he comes from Chattanooga, Tennessee with his wife for our training sessions.
Oh. Yeah.
So this, the charges for those training sessions help cover those types of costs.
Yeah.
I think the training sessions are very important. One, I don't have enough folks that I think are trained well enough to work with veterans. A lot of, if you haven't served in the military, the perceptions you have about the military are driven by the media, driven by film, and there are a lot of misconceptions about what veterans are, who they are, whether it's positive or negative.
Yeah.
We have employers that are very fearful about hiring a veteran simply because they think, or they've been led to believe, that most veterans come back from combat or have mental health issues. And that's unfortunate because even with PTSD, which PTSD you don't cure, it doesn't go away, but you can certainly learn to manage it, manage your behavior. And one of the things we do in that management is help that veteran understand their acceptable behavior, their unacceptable behavior, and how we act, and how we prepare for the things that upset us, that cause us to react in negative ways.
Sure.
So we help them identify the factors that they may encounter, whether it's driving, which is usually an issue for people with PTSD. It's the road rage issues are just out there.
Yeah.
So we help them understand that that part of the problem they have with the driving is that they don't have control of what other drivers do. And in the military, we like our control. So we help them with that, and we're glad to do that. And having PTSD myself and having received a lot of great care in working with it and also specializing in the PTSD area, I think I have a leg up with that understanding and being able to train others about the questions they need to ask veterans and where they need to go. So the training is very important, and if you're interested in receiving the training, please go to our website, which will be shown to you.
Yeah. It's a shame you have to have the PTSD, but it's helping you now.
Well, it's proof that when
Yeah.
you can identify what your stressors are, what your triggers are, and we call them trigger points, then once you understand that, having PTSD is not an excuse for bad behavior. Once you understand that you have PTSD, it's your responsibility to come to grips with it and find out how and work on how you can adjust your behavior. It's not the civilian's fault.
I was talking to a Vietnam vet not very long ago. The Good Samaritan goes over his house quite often, and he says he's on the floor before he knows it, before he even thinks about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those physical reactions, that's not PTSD. Those responses that we have to loud noises or surprises that cause a physical reaction, that's really a learned behavior that kept us alive. Now, it's an exaggerated learned behavior, but we oftentimes feel less safe here back in the States than we did in combat. And that's just because we've got a society filled with people that don't understand what our needs are.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad you came today because I've learned a lot, and I hope our audience has learned a lot.
I hope so.
They should get behind you and support this very important mission that you started, and for which you should be highly commended.
Again, it's all the glory goes to God. It's
well, that's true, but you need some as well.
Well, I get more than enough. It's just an honor to serve.
Yeah.
My brothers and sisters in arms, our invisible army, our military contractors, and their family members.
Oh my, where are they? Are they at home now? Or are they?
No, we have many military contractors right now doing the business of the United States in other countries.
Yes, that's true.
We don't support them as far when they
And
come
it's
back for their
very
services.
dangerous work.
Well, I hate to shut you off. We're way out of time.
Well, thank you so much, Dale, for having me.
Thanks for
And
being here.
Thank
it's so
you, dear.
good to see you again,
It's
Marilyn.
good to see you again. I hope we meet again.
Yes.
And good
Hope
luck.
you
in
enjoyed
this.
the show. Remember, freedom is not free. If you meet a veteran, someone in uniform, just shake their hand, say thank you for your service. Thank you and good night.